All right, let's get started. All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to Note Night in America. Glad to have each and every one of you join us live here on Monday night. It is hard to believe the fourth quarter is here. Hopefully you guys are ready to rock and roll. You're ready to kick some ass, take some names here, because this is the quarter to end all quarters, as they say. Remember all the namesayers and say, oh my gosh, it's going to be crazy. The fourth quarter of 2022, and I would agree with them on this couple points. It will be crazy if you take action and are ready to rock and roll. I know we got some action takers on here tonight to do some stuff, but before we dive into the meat and potatoes tonight, just once again, if this is your first time on Note Night in America, we're honored to have you. Thank you for coming. We've been doing these for over 11 years now, at least 35 times a year around the holiday and travel schedules. And as always, thank you again for joining here. Always, NoteNightInAmerica.com, easy to register. We also got the Note Night in America podcast. We've got a few of the episodes that we had the last couple of weeks are going live on there and being released on the Note Night in America podcast. So make sure you check those out and catch those anytime you want. But you can always go to WeCloseNotes.com, our main website, and grab everything you need there. But all our videos are live on YouTube. Yes, we are live streaming this. So if we're watching that chat roll as well, if you're joining us live on there. And you know, I subscribe to WeCloseNotes.tv for all of our over 1,500, almost 1,600 videos on YouTube there for you. But guys, we've got several podcasts besides just the Note Night in America podcast. We've got new episodes being released for the Note Closer Show podcast. I know I've got about 21, 22 episodes that will be released the rest of the month. And then we've also got really excited too, the Note Camp replays, the Note Camp live podcast, first episode of the 2022 series goes live tomorrow, and then you'll be seeing them. We'll be releasing one new episode per week over the next few weeks there for you. But honestly, guys, we are so excited with what's going on in the markets and the opportunities out there, and jacked up for tonight's call with you. And this call's been a few weeks in the making. We've got a very special guest. Maybe saw him speak a little bit, No Camp, but the reason we wanted to talk about something like this, it's now the opportunity for you guys to really take action, and we want to make it kind of stupidly easy for you to really get off your keys if you're sitting on the sidelines not doing anything. But as I want to bring on our special guest here, he is a guy that maybe some of you heard him speak at Note Camp Live. He gave a great presentation. He's an investor for over a decade. He's closed on over 600 different transactions here in the United States, even though he lives in Canada. He loves Indiana, loves the Hoosier State just like I do. But he was like many investors out there. If you're trying to make things happen, he's frustrated, having to try to get multiple systems to talk to one another, and just a pain in the ass to have to do that. I think we've all agreed to that. He is the founder of REISimpli.com. He has been closing still to this day 3 to 4 transactions at a minimum per month. Like I said, he spoke at Note Camp 2022, but he's the founder of Resimpli.com. So Sharad Mehta joining us here on Note Night in America. What is going on, Sharad? It's hopefully you're having a great start of your fourth quarter as well, huh, bud?
I am, man. I am. Just got 2 properties under contract last week. Yeah, so excited about that. Can you hear me good? I'm using a different headset. Cool.
Sounds good, man. Sounds really good.
Yep. Yeah, everything's going good, man. For me, particularly, I'm like super excited about the fourth quarter of the year. I feel like, you kind of start looking ahead about the next year, and then just also start reflecting back and just to see what worked, what did not work, what are some of the things I need to double down on, what are some of the things I need to cut back, and just, run a very, very profitable business. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I start planning the next year in October.
Yeah,
you have to. I know you are. That's why we hit it off, is that you have to really start looking at what you want to accomplish now. If you're waiting until January 1st or 2nd, you're really already behind the ball.
Oh, yeah.
And what's so unique about too with our audience too is the fourth quarter is really one of the busiest. These next 6 months are really the busiest for our Note audience and Note investors, because the banks are all motivated to move stuff at the end of the quarter.
Right.
They're before year end, and then also the first quarter as well, what they didn't sell. So it's all about making connections and making things happen. So I'm gonna shut up and let you take over, my friend, because I know that we've talked about this, but you're the man behind it. So I'm gonna be quiet and let you take over.
Yeah, man. All right. So let me share my screen, and then we can go from there.
No problem. And you want to say questions till we get to the end? for you?
No, I mean, let's make it interactive. Like whatever
Okay.
question guys have, if they want to unmute themselves or if they want to like put it in the chat. So whatever is convenient, I want to make it as, interactive as possible. So it's up to you, man. This
So,
is your show. Yeah. So you
well,
tell me kind of however
so
you want to run.
when they come up, I'll moderate them, and then if they're relevant where we're at, we'll do it. If not, we'll save to the end. But yeah, I'll definitely, if it's right at the top. Sometimes people ask questions that can be waited till the very end. I know that you'll probably answer as we go, so I'll moderate as we go. And I'm going to turn my video camera off here because I think the internet's acting a little weird here. So make sure you get all good stuff.
No worries, man. Yeah. Hey guys, so my name is Sharad Mehta, and I am the founder and CEO of Resimpli.com. We used by thousands of investors nationwide, from investing experience of people that are just getting started all the way up to people that are doing 20, 25 deals a month. Like Scott mentioned, I'm an active real estate investor in Northwest Indiana. So if you guys are not familiar, it's right outside of Chicago in Lake County, Indiana. So that's where I invest. I live in Toronto, Canada now, but I've always invested in Northwest Indiana. The reason being I used to live in Chicago. I lived in downtown Chicago for about 10 years. And that's how I picked Northwest Indiana. So it's practically a suburb of Chicago, but in Indiana. I've completed over 750 deals, everything from rental properties to fix and flip, wholesale properties, some 40 condo unit building in Phoenix. So I've done a little bit of everything, but now I do about 30, 40 deals a year. I would say 50% is your typical retail fix and flip, and the other 50% is we sell properties to other turnkey investors. So I own a property management company. So what we do is we buy these properties, we rehab them, rent them out, and sell to other investors all over the country. And I'm owner. I own about 50 rental properties. 90% of them are owned free and clear. And I also own a property management company. We manage somewhere about 165 to 175 units for a property management company. And then with Resimpli, and then with generally everything that I'm doing in my business now, we're on a mission as a company, individually to add more value to real estate investors than ever thought possible. So everything we're doing, all the decisions we're making in our company, with what products we want to roll out, or even when we're buying a house, we're thinking about, okay, how can we add more value to the motivated seller that we're trying to buy a property from than anybody else. So that's kind of our mission. That's how we decide everything about, everything we're doing in a company. And that's a picture of me and my son. He's 5 years old. He'll be 6 this November. So excited about that. Guys, again, if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself or put it in the chat. Scott will monitor the chat. But what I want to talk about is, how to help you close your next real estate deal. Whether it be notes, whether it be investment property that you're looking to buy, fix and flip, whether it be rental properties, principles are the same. The principles for acquiring a property from a motivated sellers with some equity, they're the same. What you do with that property, everybody has different exits. But the interesting fact is more than 90% of real estate investors never actually close on a deal. We look at our data, we run surveys, we run a couple of Facebook groups, so we run surveys there, and we monitor the data of our users. And it's very interesting. And then I also talked to part of a couple of mastermind groups in real estate. You talk to investors, people that are running RIAs, and it's very common to see 90% of real estate investors never actually close on a deal. They get all the education, they do everything, but then unfortunately never actually close on a deal. So what we wanted to do was we actually wanted to put something together where we have like a sort of like a package where we can, walk any investor on how they can close their next deal. So that's kind of what I'm going to go over. We've broken it down into 5 steps to close your next wholesale deal. Again, this could be, instead of wholesale, it could be a next rental property deal, it could be a next fix and flip deal, whatever you want to call it. Again, the principles to acquire the property are the same. What you do with the disposition, that's totally up to you. And who this is for real estate investors, who are struggling to find their next deal, investors that are not sure how to talk to motivated sellers, or they're not utilizing the power of automated follow-up, or they're not using a system that automates a lot of the things that need to be doing. And these are the 5 steps that you need to close your next real estate investment deal. So first is you want to build your marketing list. Second is you want to stack and skip trace them. We'll go into each one of them individually. Third is you actually want to start marketing to those leads. Fourth is you want to automate lead follow. And fifth is make offers. So these are all the things that you control. Whether whether a seller or whoever you're negotiating with, whether they accept your offer or not, that's out of your control. But this is everything that we have there are the things that you control in your business. So think of it like this is the input that you're putting in, the output, it's a numbers game. The more input you put in, the more output you're going to get out of it. So let's get started with this. The first step in getting your next investment property deal is to build your marketing list. So now there's a few different ways you can do that. You can do driving for dollars, where you drive around and you see a house that looks distressed, you write down the address, or you can use apps. There's other technology tools that you can use. So that's one way to do that. The second is most commonly used as list aggregators. These are companies like ListSource or PropStream that provide data to you. So that's another way. You can get the data from county records. You can get it from your building department. You can get it from your utility department. So one thing to keep in mind when you're building a marketing list is the harder it is to obtain the list, the better that list is going to be. So if you go to ListSource, if you go to PropStream, just go in, you put in your filter, you buy your list. If you can do it within 5 minutes, I bet every investor that starts out is doing the exact same thing. So you want to look at the more effort you're putting in to trying to get a list, the more real-time data that you're getting, the better your list quality is going to be. And then this is how you build it.
Can I go back to that a little bit there, kind of on the note side? Because I got a message from somebody. Well, I buy notes. I'm not buying property. Well, it's still deals. You're still looking for deals on this. And so let me add to this here a little bit. Very easy. You could jump on Bauer Financial to pull a list of banks and resort it by the default rate. You could jump on LinkedIn and look for asset managers. You could literally look at the foreclosure lists that you see in an area to pull a list of motivated sellers or distressed borrowers or banks with distressed debt. So there's a variety of ways, guys. Don't be there's a lot of gray here in how you can tweak some things. I use the county records this week alone in my neighborhood to pull my list of people that live around me, because I'm starting to see some vacant houses that have been sitting on the market for a longer period of time. I love the building department or your zoning department to see which assets are struggling too. Starting to have code enforcement liens is distressed debt as well too for you. I see a vacant house. If the utility department's a great source of information, see if the power is still on or off. Because us as the lender, the utility departments give us more information, being the bank, versus just a traditional investor. So I love your list here. But it's just I just wanted to put that out there for everybody that's listening. That's just a pure note investor. All right.
Yeah. So Scott, that's great. Yeah. So please feel free to chime in, and then wherever you want to make it relevant to note investors, definitely do that. But again, guys, what you have to keep in mind is the principles are the same, right? Yep. So I might be talking about, somebody might be talking about how do you use this to buy an investment property, but you could apply the exact same principles on how to buy your note. Right. So you could go to the county record and see, as the interest rate is changing, you could look at, you could get an edge over any of the competitor in your market by going to county and getting list of pre-foreclosures that are going on, vacant houses, like Scott mentioned. Call your utility department, ask about all the properties that have water shut-off notice. Right. Call your building department, find out list of all the properties that have code enforcement issues, and they have ongoing code enforcement issue, like your eviction list. So again, the idea is to find the list of people that are motivated. So again, for me, what I'm talking about could be motivated sellers, but for you, it could be people that have notes to sell. So again, keep that in mind. But yeah, just apply. Look at the principles that you want to apply in your business, and these are the things you want to look at, right? What city, zip codes you want to look at, in terms of equity, years of ownership. So the main principle behind this is look at the more financial distress points that you can find out, the better, higher quality list you're going to have, the list of motivated people that you're going to have, people that are going through financial distress, like foreclosure, behind on taxes, people that have like a life event, divorce, probate. Those are the people that are going to have more motivation to, to sell their properties or to get out of it than somebody who just paid cash for a property last week. There's no point going after those people. So, Scott, feel free to add anything that you have to this. Otherwise, I'm just gonna, keep moving forward. Okay.
Yeah, you're good, man. It's perfect.
All right. So, what should you do after you, put together a marketing list? The next thing is, you want to get essentially what you want to do is you want to get the information of the seller, basically. So you have the list of people that you want to go after. The first thing you want to do is stack them and get their information. So stacking the list is basically, think of it, let's say you pull a list from, your online public records, you pull a list of people from your county, you pull a list of people from your utility department, your building department. So imagine if you have 1,000 people from each of your list, and then whether you do it in Excel or use your software, what you do is you stack those lists. So you might notice that there are some people that are on all three of your lists. You might have people that are going through pre-foreclosure, you might have people that are going through divorce, you might have people that are going through bankruptcy. So if you notice that you have some people that are on all of those, people that have all those motivation points. So what you want to do is you want to target those people before you target anybody else, because those people, the higher the motivation that they have, the more motivation point, distress points they have, the more likely they are to sell their property, or the more likely you have an opportunity to make a deal with those people, right? So again, like stacking and skip tracing is essentially the idea of tracking down the information of the person, skip track. This is used to get the contact information of the property owner who could be interested in selling their property. And so once you've gotten the information of these people, whether it's the mailing address, whether it's the phone number, email, what's the next thing that you want to do? The next thing is you want to start marketing to those people. Again, whether you might be marketing to banks, you might be marketing to motivated sellers, the idea behind it is the same. How do you get in touch with those people, right? You could do direct mail, you could do cold calling, you could do SMS, you can do RVM, start ringless voicemail. And then when you're marketing to prospect, these are some of the things that you want to keep in mind. If you're doing direct mail, so I've kind of put together a chart here of, what the comparison would be for, cost, whether it's inbound marketing, outbound marketing, what's the lead timeline, whether it's an intrusive marketing, how competitive it is, what's the effectiveness. So for example, something like direct mail, it's expensive to do. It's outbound marketing. Outbound marketing is any marketing where you are making the initial contact to a specific person. So when you're sending out direct mail, you're sending it to a specific person, versus inbound marketing like PPC or Google Ads. When you're running your PPC or Google Ads, you're not targeting a specific individual. You're just running a generic ad, and then people are reaching out to you. They're making the initial contact with you. And then some of the lead pipeline, for example, something like direct mail or PPC, you could start getting a lead in a very short amount of time, versus something like online PPC, online SEO, which takes months or if not years to kind of start building your brand and start getting some leads. And then in terms of intrusiveness, sending somebody cold calling or SMS, it's intrusive, versus something like PPC or Google Ads. Any inbound marketing, you're not again targeting anybody, you're just running ads, and then people are reaching out to you. Some marketing are going to be more competitive than other. For example, direct mail, we've noticed consistently is pretty effective, versus something like, SMS, which is super inexpensive. It's going to be very, very competitive to use. And then in terms of effectiveness, this is based on my experience talking to other investors, looking at the data of thousands of investors that are using Resimpli. SMS is definitely becoming less and less effective, versus radio and TV ads are pretty effective, direct mail is effective, and then online and PPC has been pretty effective, especially with everything that's going on in the last 2-3 months with the interest rate changing. Cool. All right. So once you've built your marketing list and you've started doing marketing, the number one thing you want to do is choose the marketing channel that you can stick with the longest. It doesn't matter which marketing channel it is. Everything works at the end of the day, but you want to pick the marketing channel that you can stick with for at least 6 months of time. So if you're gonna start doing direct mail 1 month, then you're doing cold calling, then you're doing SMS the month after, then you're doing online PPC for a month, then you jump into radio and TV, then nothing is going to work. The most important thing is if you can just pick one marketing channel, whatever that works for you based on your budget, based on your personality. Something, some people, like for me, example, I'm not very comfortable making cold calls. So if I were to pick one, I would pick online ads, or I would pick direct mail, because then I'm just sending out. I'm not calling someone, I'm not texting someone. But it depends on everybody's, what they feel comfortable with, their budget, and what their comfort level is. Okay. Once you have those leads coming in, this is probably the most important thing in any sorts of sales that you're doing, whether you're doing for notes, whether you're doing for investment property or anything. Money is in the follow-up. I mean, this is across any industry. You look at 2% of the sales are going to be made on the first contact that you make. Then the more contacts that you make with the prospect that you're talking to, the higher chance that you have of converting it into a deal. 80% of the sales are made after 5th to 12th contact. So the money is, when they say money is in the follow-up, I mean, I can tell you, like looking at my own business, like the 2 contracts that we got last week, we had been following up with those people for over 4 months, texting them, calling them. I think we had like 15 to 17 touches with one of them before we actually signed a contract. The most important thing is like keep following up. There's a few different ways you can do to follow. Oops, sorry, it keeps going back and forth. You can follow up by SMS, calling, emailing, direct mail, or ringless voicemail. What we suggest that at a minimum, depending on the situation, if somebody's going through pre-foreclosure, then this every 30 days doesn't really apply. But somebody that has, not super motivated, at minimum, what you want to do is follow up with someone every 30 days, versus if somebody's going through pre-foreclosure and they're going to lose their house in 2 or 3 weeks, then of course you want to follow up with them, multiple times a day to make that transaction happen. And yeah, the more offers you make, once you have, as you're talking to prospects, the more offers you make, the higher chances that you have of making a deal happen. This is how we calculate our offers. For us, a typical real estate investor, it's a cash offer. We close in 10 to 14 days. As there's no repairs needed, buyer pays all closing costs. So the more seamless you can make the entire process of making an offer, with the real estate, with the seller or whoever you're, negotiating with, the better chances you're going to have of closing that transaction. So this is what a typical real estate investor offer looks like. And this is how we calculate our offer. So we look at for us to calculate what our maximum offer is going to be, we look at after repair value, which is ARV, after repair value. So this is the value of the house fixed up. So if you buy something that's in distressed condition, we look at the after repair value. If this house were fixed up, what would be the repair? What would be the market value of it? We take 70% of that. We take minus repairs, minus if you're gonna add any wholesale fee or any commission on top of it, and that becomes your maximum offer. So let's say if a house that is worth about $200,000, you take 70% of that, which is going to be 140, and you subtract, let's say it needs $20,000 worth of repair. So off that 140, you take out 20,000, you get 120. Let's say if you want to add a wholesale fee of another 10,000, so you take another 10,000 out of 120, you get a maximum offer of 110,000 on that house that you can make and still make profit on that property. Again, this is a numbers game. The more offers that you make, the higher chances that you will get a property under contract, or whether it's a note, whether it's anything. The more offers that you're making, the higher chances that you have of making that deal happen. It's a numbers game. Again, the 5 steps that we put together is everything that you control. You control your inputs, and then it's a matter of time before you start seeing results come out of it. So that's all I have for you guys. And so what we've done is we've actually put together a 30-day challenge, a next you challenge that we're running every month. The next one is starting in November, where we walk you through every step by step. We give you all the tools, all the coaching that you need to help you get your next deal. So if you're interested, you can go to www.resimpli.com/next-deal, and then you can sign up or find out more about what we have to offer. Scott, any questions or anything I can go over?
Give me 1 second here. I just realized I didn't open up the chat roll to everyone because the Zoom just changes. So if you got questions, now's the time to type it in the chat roll for you guys. I'm going to make sure and put that that link in there for everybody. So it's same link on there, guys. Great thing, guys. Think about this: 30 days. November gets that through to December there for you. If you really put some work in the next 30 days, you can have a ton of deals ready to rock and roll come December, 1st of December, getting those things closed out by the middle of December for the year end. And those contacts, those people that you're reaching out to, lead to you having a great momentum moving into the new year. Momentum already moving into the first quarter versus trying, okay, let me wait around for my New Year's resolution to start something. Come on. You know you're not going to start it. How many of you had failed New Year's resolutions last year you didn't get going? This is the time to get off your keister, to start doing some things and having some folks to help hold you accountable and help hold your hand through the aspect there for you. So there's the link in the chat roll again for everybody. For what questions, comments, guys, do you guys have out there? Somebody's asking online here, how are we able to use Resimpli as a way to work with this challenge or help us out, Sharad?
Yes, so everything that you need, you can use within Resimpli. So if I go in my test account, you can essentially use us for driving for dollars, and then you can start building your list. You can put it in our system. And then what you do is you can start cold calling. So what we're providing is, let me go to this, resimpli.com. Next deal. Yeah, so what we are providing is, so we're providing essentially everything that you need. So we're going to guide you through all the 5 steps, like which list that you need to pull, the best performing list for cold calling, and review how to effectively pull your list. So we're going to teach you all of this. We're going to show you exactly what list stacking is. If you don't know what that is, how to skip trace it, how to find sellers' contact information, and learn actually how to cold call. We're going to give you the exact script that you need to use. We're going to give you the tool. You can use our dialer to start cold calling, and then how to make offers on the property. We're going to walk you through step by step on and give you the exact purchase agreement that you can use. When you're making an offer, you can send e-sign from within Resimpli, and then we'll give you the exact automated follow-up drip campaigns that we use in our business every day to close more deals. So you can use exactly, we'll give you the same ones. And then we'll do weekly live coaching calls. There'll be a private Facebook community. You get the dialer, you get all the scripts, and then you get drip campaigns, like I mentioned, that the exact ones that we use, that I've noticed other real estate investors using, that are consistently doing deals in their business. So all of that is included in the challenge. It's only $99 just for the challenge, and it includes all the education and all the tools that you need for your next deal. So it's a really, really good value. It's going to be me and my partner, David Dodge. He does a lot of, he's the Burr method expert, buy, repair, and, refinance, do all that good stuff. So he's done over 1,000 deals. He's been an investor for 18 years. So he and I are going to do this together. He does a lot of cold calling, super experienced guy. But this is where you can, you have the dialer built in. So the list of people that you have that you want to call, you can start calling from within the system. You just load up their contact information, click dial, and then you can start dialing them. Or if you want to send them direct mail, you can send them direct mail from within the system. And then, if that's the method you want to use for prospecting or for follow-ups or whatnot, you can do all of that from within Resimpli. So yeah, all of that is included. It includes all the education and the tools that you need to help you get your next deal before the end of the year.
So we got a question from Frankie. He asked the question, is Resimpli, does it have its own software to pull the lists that you talked about? Or is it different that I'd have to pull?
So you can use Resimpli for driving for dollars. So driving for dollar is built in. You don't have to pay anything extra. So if you're driving around, you see a house that's distressed, you can just tap on the property address, it gets added. As far as pulling list is concerned, we don't do that because, frankly, there's so many tools out there. And then a lot of investors prefer to actually get their data from county or from, your building department, utility department, and those, data points are not available. So we don't offer that. But again, you can use us for driving through dollars, or if you buy your list from, if you get not buy, if you get your list from county, utility department, or building department, then you can put that in Resimpli and start marketing and then start doing follow up. Or if you use another system that you can export the data, put it into Resimpli, and then from there start doing it for marketing and other follow ups within the system.
Frankie asked the question: are you able to pull comps for non-disclosure states as well, like in Texas?
I mean, we have some information built in where, once you put the property address, it gives you some rough estimated information, or, we have Zillow integration done over here. So if you click on the property address, it pulls up some information from Zillow, but you don't necessarily like get comps in the system.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is your idea is you're going to pull a little bit more accurate comps because like Joe, it kind of falls in line with what a good question. Joe asked the question, how are you predicting profit with prices coming down? Buying is obviously critical. And I would agree to that, Joe. But here's the thing about predicting values. You're going to use realtors to pull a recent comp to recent numbers and seeing if the market is depreciating, if the market's going down. And each market's different. It also depends on what the strategy is. I'll give you a great example. Like I'm targeting, besides targeting non-performing notes that I'm buying, I'm not worried about the prices coming down that much in a year or two, because I know I'm probably going to be in the deal for longer. If I'm buying it at 50 cents on the dollar, I don't care if the value comes down 10 to 15, 20%. If it comes down further than that, we're in a whole lot of hurt out there. But the fact that I'm buying distressed debt at 50, 60 cents, great. Another thing is if you say subject to deals. Subject to deals are not something you're usually going to flip. Subject to deals are something you're going to take over and hold on for either rental, or do a wraparound mortgage. You're going to be into it longer for 2 or 3 years most of the time, and you're going to hold cash flow for the most part. So I don't get so bent out of shape on a knee-jerk reaction that a value drops 20, 30, 40 grand in an area because I know that probably that market's going to come back. It's not really a drop. It's more of a price correction. And that's easy to tell with comps and things like that. And of course, your value is based on comps and days on market and where it's at there for you. Your 30-day quick sale price is going to be different than your traditional long-term listing on that. And so that's something to keep in mind, Jay. Joe?
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. What you said is right on the money. It really depends. Like if you're looking to buy something, as speculation where you want to buy it today and sell it in a week, then I would be very careful. And then, Scott is absolutely right. Like when you're pulling comps, guys, the best data you're going to get is from a real estate agent in your market. You're not going to get any better data than that. The actual data is going to be coming from MLS. All of the tools that you see out there, they're pulling their data from MLS, and MLS doesn't give like 100% access to anyone. So you want to talk to your local real estate agent. And then if you notice, if you're fearful about market, going down, you have to keep in mind that you can always, like when you starting out, if you are a little bit anxious about kind of where market is going, just be a little bit conservative with your numbers, right? Take 5-10% off what you think the market value would be, and then just make an offer. Look, the only thing that you control is the effort that you can make. You don't control anything on whether your offer is going to get accepted or not. It's just like put it in a different context, right? If you're looking to lose weight, for example, right? The only thing that you control is like what I put in my body, how much should I work out? Other than that, if you do those things, if you're disciplined to do those things, it's just a matter of time before you start seeing results on the scale. It's the same thing we notice it consistently day in, day out with investors that we notice that are consistently doing deals. They're just so focused on the things that they control, and they're not worried about what's out of their control. They're not worried about, if what's going to happen with my offer, for example. They're just concerned about, okay, I have a process to follow. All I need to do is I need to make 10 offers a week. That's it. That's all I control. I run my numbers. If the house is worth 100,000, my offer, for example, is going to be 70,000. If I'm a little bit, nervous about the market, hey, let's just make an offer of 60,000. That's it. That's all I control. Send 10 of those out there and let people decide whether they want to accept the offer or not. That's it. That's all you have in your control. Whether somebody accepts an offer or not, you absolutely have no control on that. And then that's why the steps that we put together is everything that you control in your business. It's not dependent on somebody else. We didn't say step number 6, offer gets accepted, because we have no idea whether it's going to get it. The only thing I can tell you is the more offers you make, the higher chance you have of getting a property. That's it.
One of the great things I love about what you guys do is very orderly. I know David. David's a friend of mine. Great guy. A passion for really working with people and helping people achieve. So Dave's a great guy. You guys are partnered, been doing some good stuff, great software, great energy, stuff like that. But here are some of the lists that I would be pulling as well. I would be looking, guys, if you've got a realtor friend, you should have them pulling a list for you that's expired listings in your area, because people that couldn't sell their house, they're now dismayed. They're now pulling their property back off the market because they don't think they could sell it with interest. But they would probably be open, especially if they don't have a lot of equity or maybe even negative equity, maybe willing to sell it subject to you.
Exactly.
You're going to hold on to that to a while. Or if they've got free and clear, hey, they don't maybe want to sell it and take a huge tax hit, but they can sell it on terms to you with some of a down payment and then finance it. There's so many different ways to find deals. I mean, many of you guys are trying to find the perfect deal. The perfect deal doesn't exist. But you know what the perfect deal starts off as, though? It starts off that you made 20 offers or 10 offers, and then you followed up.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Guys, it's like, let me give another example. Let's say if you are you're not even in the market to buy a car. Let's just say you're just at home, you have a nice car, you have a reliable car. Every quarter, you get a postcard from your Toyota dealership. Every single quarter, they send you, hey, Halloween sale going on. Then year-end sale going on, and like Memorial Day sale going on. You just get a postcard, you look at it, you toss it out, right? They're not doing anything. Like, you're not even in the market to buy a car. Now imagine your car breaks down, a year from now. You've been getting those postcards from that Toyota dealership. Just naturally, you're gonna think of that dealership. Just because they planted that seed in your mind that, hey, they have sales going on. If you're in the market to buy a Toyota or Honda or something along the same line, there's a very, very, very good chance you're going to give them a call. They're going to be in the, like forefront of your mind. That's the same thing you're doing with the offers that you're making, or any negotiations that you're doing. You're just letting somebody know, hey, I'm interested. If you're expecting that you're going to send one offer and get that property or get that note or whatever you might be looking to get, then I would say this is not the right business.
Yeah.
This is not the right business. I mean, if you think you're going to open a shop and people are going to line up to buy something, it doesn't happen in any business. As long as you control on your efforts and then just say, hey, I'm just going to trust the process 100% day in, day out and do these things. I'm telling you guys, it's just a matter of time before you start seeing results. Like, there's no other way but for you to start seeing results as long as you're following the process. There's going to be some really good months. There're going to be some really crappy months, but you follow the process and that's it.
That's correct, man. And here's the thing too, in the note business is you guys are getting lists in or reaching out to asset managers, even if they're not accepting you buying the note. That whole list of non-performing notes are potential subject to deals. Those are potential deals for you to take under contract by contacting the borrowers directly to see if they're interested in selling. Or if it's a vacant property, see if they'd sign the property. There's so many different ways to skin a cat to find deals here, guys. This is just a great vehicle for you to help you walk you through that and go that route of being organized, put everything in one spot so it's easy for you to find, and having that clean, I want kind of that clean path, clean place to plug in every day with your deals. I mean, I'm out walking my neighborhoods. I don't talk about this a lot, but I walk in my neighborhood. I've got it's about a 3/4 mile lap loop in where I live here. Gated community here. Walk around there, nice houses, and there's vacant houses here. There's distressed houses here in Austin, Texas, of all places. What the hell? Hottest market out there. And when I finish up tonight, I got a phone call with 2 distressed borrowers in this area here from reaching out. Same thing, reaching out to the borrowers on these notes that we get. If we've made a bunch of offers, if we don't get them accepted, we're already sending out letters to the borrowers to have them to respond. Maybe they're interested in selling the property. And what would I do with a non-performing note where I'm buying the property? Hey, that's a potential deed in lieu. I can actually, if I know that the borrower wants to stay or wants to go, that gives me bigger and better borrowing. I'm sorry, not borrowing. Negotiation tactics in making my offer higher because I kind of know where the borrower wants to go in the mindset with it. So there's such a great thing. This is why when you talked about Sharad about putting this together, I was so excited to have you guys come back on here and talk about everything.
Especially with the way the market is, I think there's going to be some really great opportunities to do some creative things, right?
Yeah.
But you're only going to see the results again, whether you use our system or not. It's totally up to you. But if you can take away one thing, is just go out there, make offers, guys. Just make offers. Doesn't matter whether you use, like, I run a tech business, and this is what I do for my like day-to-day stuff. I use a legal notepad, and I mean, this is like for my ideas and stuff. But whatever system you use, just make offers. Get out there, make offers, and just let the process take care of itself.
Amen to that, man. Amen to that. Any other questions from anybody out there, or on those that are watching here on YouTube Live? I am monitoring the chat roll there for you guys. Resimpli.com. Where's the sign up thing before they get started with the 30-day sign up again there?
Yeah, so if they go to resimpli.com/next-deal.
Okay, let me put that in the chat roll too. Yep, it's in the chat. I'll put it in there.
Yeah, Joe said there's going to be a tsunami of subject tools very soon. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, this is a time to you guys just get ready. Just there's going to be some really, really interesting things. And I don't think like Fed is done raising the interest rate. My brother works in financial industry, financial firm. He's the CFO, and he was telling me like there's a good chance that the interest rate might go up to like 8, even touch 9%. So like just this is going to be really good times if you're prepared, really bad times if you're not. So I think Scott started off really well. I mean, we're in October already, guys. Like next year is going to be here before you know it. You start planning for like really awesome opportunity that we have coming, and this could be like an opportunity to build generational wealth if you play it right. Or you could just be sitting on the sideline and saying, oops, I missed the board.
Yeah, that's the truth. So truth there, everybody. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Anything else I can help with, Scott?
No, man, I think that's it. You've got a great platform here.
Thank you.
Great philosophy on your own investing. And that's what I love about you. That's what we had you back on is I get bombarded with software opportunities all the time. And they may be great, they may be great, but they're not always real estate investors behind it. It's an engineering mindset more so than anything. And I have to go like, this is not friendly. I know you think it works for you, but it doesn't have a lot of common sense. But that's not the case with Resimpli. It's very simple, very easy to use, and has a lot of bells and whistles. And that's why when we came across it, we were so excited. Hey, we got to make a spot for you on Note Camp, and then we got to have you back on and talk.
Yeah, appreciate you having us on the call, man. Yeah, we love connecting with you. So yeah, anything I can help you or your community, please definitely let us know. We're here to help with anything we can.
Sounds great, man. Thank you so much, guys. Once again, that's www.resimpli.com/next-deal. Get signed up for it, guys. Trust me, it's a great investment. If you need accountability and a kick in the ass, this just might be what you need. Just get something, get rock and roll in there for you. Get the ball rolling and whatever. If it's not notes, if it's wholesale, whatever it might be, I just want you guys to do deals. Don't be in that 90% of people that don't ever do something.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh,
yeah. I'm sure you notice it. Even 90%, I'm being conservative. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm being conservative at 90%.
It's probably closer to 5% more than anything else, of people that actually take action. So, but anyway, great. Thank you so much, Sharad, for coming on here on Note Night America, sharing an amazing offering and a great stuff. Great presentation on the 5 steps. It's a lot of the same things. It's a follow-up. It's the follow-up. 8% of the sales are in the follow-up and the closed deals. You got to make more deals. I'm a big believer with what we see too is that it's about a 10% closing ratio that we see with folks that if you make 10 offers, you're probably going to get 1 accepted in our neck of the woods on the non-performing note side. And that'll vary. I mean, even me, it's not a 100% closing ratio. I'm excited. We see a 30% closing ratio.
Right.
It just is the law of numbers, right?
I mean, it's the same principles, right? Whether you're doing a wholesale deal, buying a rental property, or buying notes, you just gotta put the effort in. And as you get more experience and advanced like you're gonna start tweaking. That's where you're gonna start getting efficiency and optimization. But somebody starting out, 10 offers, you get 1. This is awesome. So yeah, that's what you gotta do.
Exactly. Great stuff, man. Well, hey, man.
Awesome.
Good stuff, man. Have a great evening. We'll talk some more this week. All right, Sharad.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, guys. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this Note Night in America. Go out, take some action, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you at the top. If you have any questions or want to pick my brain on different ways, different lists, different strategies, feel free. Go to talkwithscottcarson.com and schedule a call with me. And glad to answer any questions they have, where I see the market going, what markets you think I should focus on, or what strengths or deal flow for you. And I'm always glad to have a talk with you about that. That's my biggest goal is for you guys to make sure that this year has been an amazing year. But also, guys, if you think back, one of my biggest mistakes that I made is when the last time happened in 2008, I didn't buy more. Okay. I wish I had bought more. Now I don't think we're going to see a crash, but there are opportunities. A crash has different ideas, different minds. For us, it may not be a crash, maybe a correction, but for many borrowers out there, a crash is not a good thing. Okay. It's not a good thing in a price correction, especially if they bought at the top of the market or they've lost their job or trying to refinance because there's ARMs, adjustable rate mortgage is still out there too for everybody. And then don't even get me started in the commercial markets too. So go out, take some action, put to work your 30-day game plan to make sure that your 2022 is successful and that you've got an even better momentum moving into the new year. All right. We'll see you guys later. Be safe. Thanks again for joining us on Note Night in America, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.